today's a Wednesday in our world with a Friday game, so today's really Wednesday in the practice week. Exciting opportunity, tremendous challenge. Memphis is a really good football team on the road. They're really talented and well coached, and so we got our work cut out for us. We got to respond. Obviously not our best last week. We got to go play better, coach better all the way across the board, everybody, including me, and got to be ready to go against a good football team. So with that, we'll open up.
You mentioned about responding last year. This game was right before the AAC championship, and it snowballed. It seemed like it snowballed into a second loss. How do you keep that from happening? How do you keep one loss from turning into two losses?
Yeah, you try to just correct the mistakes. Like, every team's different. Last year's team's not this year's team, and you try to be direct and head on with everything you address with the guys. And really draw their attention to what caused the loss, what affected the game, and how do we fix it, how do we improve upon it. And so just really draw attention to that. And I talked to them about, like, man, every week in our world, it can go good at the end of the game or it can be bad at the end of the game. And it's incumbent upon all of us to do everything we can to try to at least play the right way, prepare the right way, and the scoreboard takes care of itself, And I don't like losing at all. I mean, I've made that very clear. Everybody knows me. I'm ultra competitive, but I care just as much about how we do things, and is the process right? What was challenging last week, I thought we practiced pretty good, and just didn't play good, and so that's sometimes a mystery, because you watch your guys work through the week and you're like, all right, this feels pretty good. The energy's good, the detail's good, and we just didn't play that way. So maybe it'll be the other way this week, because defense practiced pretty average yesterday and it started out pretty average today, and it got better as the day went, so maybe they'll play great. But offensively, been a good week of work, but just trying to get the guys to be focused on what's right in front of them. Don't worry about what's behind you. I tell you all the time, when you live in the past, you usually have regret. When you live in the future, you usually have anxiety. Just be where you are. Like, no regrets, no anxiety. Just be in the moment.
To that point, do you have to bring up or do you bring up, like, hey, all of our goals are still in front of us, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've told the team, everybody in the conference has a loss in the league. This is a very competitive league. And so I've hit on that. I mean, there's a lot left to play for. I don't make too big of a deal out of it. It's more about just trying to get us to prepare our best, play our best for each opportunity. We brush over the fact of where things stand, but I don't like to live in, hey, this is the scenario completely, because I don't know that really helps us prepare the right way.
Memphis looks very different as far as maybe some of their stars on offense, but they're still really explosive. What allows them to be that way?
Well, they're talented. They got a good O-line. It's athletic and works well together. The quarterback, he's kind of the straw that stirs the drink, if you will. I mean, he's the guy that makes it all happen. Got a lot of good players around him, but he's a special talent, good football player. Throws it well, runs it well, dual threat guy. I got a lot of respect for how he plays. The runners are, I think, elite. I think all three of their backs, Sutton Smith and 13 was really good against us last year. 5 and 13 are good players. And then the Pleasant kid that transferred from Middle Tennessee State, we tried to recruit him here. He had 3 touchdowns last week. He's not even listed on their depth chart. When they pass out a depth chart in their game notes, he's not even on it. He had 3 touchdowns last week. So, I mean, they're talented. And then the receivers are good. This number 4, it's got great rapport with the quarterback. They were at Nevada together. You can tell that there's a lot of confidence in him. And they got other good receivers as well. And then tight ends are effective. I mean, offensively, they're explosive. They got talent. They're one of those teams you watch and you're like, okay, it's not really a weakness. I mean, there's a lot of strengths. So we've got to go play much better on defense for sure.
What does that extra day look like for you all as far as prep goes?
Yeah, so it's a good question. So Friday, because we got back later, right? We got back to the facility here, 3-something in the morning. So really Friday, because it's such a late travel day, Friday's kind of a wash. You're just trying to get guys to make sure they go to class in the afternoon, and they come into the training room and check in for any bumps or bruises they got. And then Saturday, it gave us a chance to just kind of flush the game out, the last one, and then point eyes a little towards the next one. And then Sunday, you're on normal game week. Sunday's a Monday. So it doesn't hurt, probably as much from anything as an injury recovery standpoint. Gives you 24 more hours. Game plan standpoint, maybe a touch, but not really, because the travel, you got back so late that, and you still have to work on getting the last game out. But it doesn't hurt to have an extra day for sure. It's not a bad thing.
I know we asked this with Army too, about two totally different teams as opposed to the championship game from last year. But for guys that did get valuable reps that played in this Memphis game, how do they prepare, and maybe their mindset as well?
Yeah, we had a handful of guys that played in the game, not a lot. Same with them. They have a few that did, but not a lot. Like, we're this day and age we live in now, rosters are very different. You look back on maybe what we didn't do well in the game and maybe how they attacked us and what gave us issues, and try to maybe address some of that or clean some of that up. There's not a whole lot, like I talked about the Army. It's not like some big revenge component, because it's not like we have many guys that were even playing in that game. I mean, I think there's 5 guys on our roster that started in that game, maybe. So maybe 5. So it's a very different group. Over half the room wasn't on the team when we played this game last year. So we acknowledge that we played them and maybe what went right or didn't go right, but don't put a whole lot into like the game from last year for how it affects this year's game, so to speak.
I don't know if this was asked already, but the UTSA quarterback, he got the ball out so fast that the pass rush was just a non-factor. Knowing that Brendan Lewis might hold on a little longer and also being more of a dual threat, what's really the emphasis for the pass rush this week?
Yeah, you can't give him vertical run lanes. He's a really gifted athlete. Last week the guy was deadly accurate. I mean, the most accurate he's been, and we didn't do a great job covering. They got the ball out quick. Everybody has a different game plan every week. Sometimes you go into a game and you think you're going to get something, and then you play the game and you get something a little different than what you've seen them do before. What Memphis does well is they distribute the football well from the quarterback position to the receivers, the pass catchers, and they run it really, really good, including the quarterback. So in regards to what their protection plan will look like, it may be different than what they've shown, but we can't. He's so athletic that you can't give him vertical seams immediately, and then on the perimeter we got to make sure we leverage him the right way and don't let him get loose, if you will.
Just a couple of guys who were dinged up in the game. Jack Chanchu, is he good to go?
Jack's
in this
available.
game?
He practiced today.
And Maurice Turner.
Mo's probably doubtful. I don't know for sure yet, but yeah, Jack's good. Mo, I don't know for sure. I don't feel great about it. That it? Awesome. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for being here.